Friends, thank you for being here today. Now, you probably think you know exactly how McDonald's makes its money, right? What if I told you that the billions of burgers they sell are just a side hustle? That the entire massive fast food operation is just a front for their real business? Let's talk about that common perception versus the financial reality. For billions of people across the globe, the Golden Arches are more than just a logo. They are a beacon of familiarity, speed, and consistency. Alongside Coca Cola, McDonald's stands as one of the twin titans of American cultural and corporate exportation, a brand so ubiquitous that its presence or absence in a country is often seen as a political and economic statement. The public perception is straightforward. McDonald's is the undisputed king of the fast food industry, a global restaurant chain that makes its formidable fortune by selling hamburgers, french fries, and milkshakes. By the numbers, this perception seems to hold. The corporation presides over a sprawling empire of more than 40,000 locations, serving a staggering 69 million customers daily in over 100 countries. It is, by revenue and recognition, the largest and most powerful restaurant company on earth. This image, however, is a carefully constructed illusion. While the company is undeniably in the business of serving food, the food is not its primary source of profit. The burgers and fries are merely the visible mechanism for a much larger, more stable, and vastly more profitable enterprise. The true business of McDonald's, the secret to its 70-year dominance and its uncanny ability to weather economic storms, is real estate. This paradox, the food company that isn't a food company, becomes glaringly obvious when one examines its performance during times of crisis. Most businesses, especially those in the service and manufacturing sectors, are highly cyclical. When a recession hits, consumer behavior changes predictably. Wallets tighten, and discretionary spending is the first to go. The hardest hit industries are almost without exception the ones deemed unnecessary: travel and tourism, leisure and hospitality, and high end manufacturing. And yet, during these exact periods of economic contraction, McDonald's does not just survive, it thrives. The financial crisis of 2008 provides the most potent case study. As Wall Street giants crumbled, housing markets collapsed, and the global financial system teetered on the brink of abyss, McDonald's embarked on one of the most successful periods in its history. While other businesses were downsizing and disappearing, McDonald's continued a 55-month-long streak of same store sales increases. Its performance improved during the recession. That year, it opened 600 new locations and posted an impressive 29% return on equity. This resilience was not unique to McDonald's, as the entire fast food sector often sees an uptick when consumers trade down from more expensive casual dining restaurants. From 2008 to 2010, for instance, Subway added nearly 6,000 new locations, and KFC added around 300. But the sheer stability and profitability of McDonald's pointed to something deeper. Analysts and investors began to speak of the company in reverent tones, labeling it recession proof. This financial invulnerability, they noted, was not simply because people were eating cheaper food, it was because the company's core business model is fundamentally insulated from the volatility of the food service industry. The secret, hidden in plain sight on its balance sheet, was that McDonald's is first and foremost one of the largest and most successful real estate developers and landlords in the world. So, How did this all start? It really comes down to one brilliant, game changing idea known as the Sonneborn Model, which is the true business therein. The architecture of this ingenious model was not the brainchild of Ray Kroc, the ambitious milkshake machine salesman who turned a small, efficient California burger stand into a global phenomenon. While Kroc was a visionary of franchising and operational efficiency, his financial fortunes truly turned when he met Harry Sonneborn, the company's first president and chief financial officer. Sonneborn was a financial genius who saw a deeper potential in Kroc's franchising plan. In a now legendary exchange, Sonneborn explained the real business to Kroc, a moment of insight that would define the company's future for the next century. We are not in the burger business, Sonneborn stated. We are in the real estate business. Sonneborn's logic was irrefutable. As he famously pointed out, you cannot build a lasting financial empire off a 1.4% cut of a 15-cent hamburger. The margins were too thin, the business too fickle. The real enduring value was not in the patties, but in the land upon which those patties were cooked. From this insight, the Sonneborn model was born, a strategy that inverted the traditional franchise relationship and transformed McDonald's from a food franchisor into a massive real estate holding company. The model functions through a brilliant multi-step process. The first step is strategic site selection. The McDonald's Corporation does not leave this crucial decision to its franchisees. Instead, it employs armies of analysts and scouts to act as an expert real estate developer. Armed with decades of demographic, traffic, and urban planning data, these teams identify and purchase the most promising commercial lots in a given territory. The criteria are famously precise. They hunt for high traffic intersections, ideally where two major roads meet. The perfect lot is approximately 50,000 square feet, with room for a building of about 4,500 square feet, and critically, the maximum possible amount of parking. A traffic light at the intersection is considered an essential ingredient for success. Once this prime location is identified, the corporation moves to the second step, favorable financing. This is where the company's sheer scale becomes an insurmountable competitive advantage. McDonald's leverages its colossal existing real estate portfolio, valued by various reports at between $39 billion and $60 billion as collateral. With this fortress balance sheet, it can secure long-term fixed-rate loans from financial institutions at the most favorable interest rates imaginable, rates far lower than any independent operator could ever hope to achieve. The corporation uses this cheap long-term debt to buy the land outright. The third and final step is the masterstroke of the entire model, securing the tenant. When an aspiring entrepreneur applies to operate a McDonald's location, they are not just buying a license to use a brand. They are, in effect, signing up to be the corporation's tenant. The franchise agreement, a famously detailed document that can run for 20 years, contains the highly consequential stipulation that the restaurant must be located at a specific address, the very address that the McDonald's Corporation has just purchased. The implications of this are profound. In the normal world of commercial real estate development, the greatest risk is finding a reliable, long-term tenant who will pay their rent on time. McDonald's completely eliminates this risk. It secures its golden tenant, the franchisee, before the first shovel of dirt is ever turned. The franchisee in their desire to run a McDonald's, has effectively agreed to provide the corporation with a guaranteed 20-year income stream to pay off the mortgage on a property that the corporation, not the franchisee, will own forever. The food in this equation is simply the bait, the mechanism that ensures the franchisee can generate the revenue needed to pay the rent. This brings up a really critical question. Why would any sane entrepreneur agree to this kind of one-sided deal? Well, it all comes down to a simple trade-off. It's a high cost but low risk investment. From the outside, the terms seem draconian. The barrier to entry is immense. To even be considered for a franchise, an individual must make a total initial investment of between $1 million and $2.4 million. This includes an upfront, non refundable franchise fee of approximately $45,000, with the rest covering the costs of equipment and outfitting the restaurant, all purchased from corporate approved vendors. Furthermore, the franchisee agrees to surrender nearly all operational autonomy. The corporation, not the owner, dictates almost every conceivable detail of the business. The franchise agreement stipulates precisely how the burgers must be cooked, the exact number of seconds fries must be cooked, the required hours of operation, the approved uniforms, and the specific interior and exterior design. Franchisees have little to no control. They are not entrepreneurs in the traditional sense, but rather managers who have paid a significant sum for their own job. The answer to why millions have lined up for this deal lies in a simple risk calculation. The independent restaurant industry is not a business, it is a bloodbath. It is a world of crushing competition and notoriously low profit margins. The statistics are terrifying. Reliable studies have shown that approximately 60% of all new independent restaurants fail within their first year of operation. A staggering 80% fail within 5 years. For an individual starting from scratch, the odds of success are astronomically low. McDonald's, by contrast, offers a safe bet. It is a proven turnkey system. The corporation has meticulously engineered the business to be as efficient and foolproof as possible. It provides extensive world-class training at its own Hamburger University in Chicago, teaching new owner-operators every aspect of the system. The brand itself is one of the most powerful marketing tools on the planet, a global icon that acts as a massive customer funnel, guaranteeing foot traffic from day one. In essence, the high cost and lack of control are the price a franchisee pays to mitigate the existential risk of failure. The payout for this trade-off is a solid, if not spectacular, living. The average McDonald's location in the United States generates around $2.7 million to $3.2 million in annual sales. After paying all expenses, food, labor, and the all-important fees to corporate, the average franchisee is left with a final take-home profit of approximately $154,000 to $180,000 per year. It is a respectable upper middle class income, and crucially, it is perceived as one of the most stable and reliable returns in the entire small business landscape. This stability for the franchisee, however, is nothing compared to the guaranteed multi-layered profitability it creates for the corporation. McDonald's generates revenue from its golden tenants through three distinct streams. The first stream is the most obvious: royalties. This is the burger business fee. The franchisee pays the corporation a monthly royalty of approximately 4% of the store's gross sales. This is the fee for using the McDonald's brand. its marketing, and its operational system. The second stream is the real estate business, and it is vastly larger. On top of the royalty, the franchisee pays the corporation a separate monthly fee for rent. This fee is also calculated as a percentage of gross sales, typically falling in a range of 8.5% to 15%. This is the core of the Sonneborn model. Not only is McDonald's the landlord, but it is an expensive one. The industry average for commercial rent is typically between 6% and 10% of sales. McDonald's consistently charges its captive tenants an above market rate, locking in a premium profit on a property it acquired with low cost, leveraged debt. The third stream is the wholesale business. Buried in the franchise agreement is the requirement that the owner must purchase all of their supplies, from the burger meat and buns to the napkins, straws, and cleaning solution, from a list of corporate approved suppliers. The corporation, of course, maintains immense control and financial interest over this supply chain, effectively turning its 37,000 plus franchisees into a captive wholesale market and creating yet another massive, non negotiable, and entirely predictable revenue stream. So, when you really analyze their financials, you can see their entire profit engine rests on three distinct pillars. The first pillar, the business in a box, or the franchise system itself, is the lure. It is the turnkey product that McDonald's sells to entrepreneurs. While it generates the initial franchise fee and the ongoing 4% royalty, this is by a wide margin the least significant part of the corporation's income. Its true purpose is to provide the operators who will power the other two far more lucrative pillars. The second pillar, the real estate empire, is the true engine of the company. The financial brilliance of this model is starkly illustrated by the discrepancy between the company's revenue and its earnings. A small fraction of McDonald's stores, roughly 7%, are still company owned and operated. This 7% of stores actually generates a disproportionately large portion of the company's total revenue, around 47% of it. This is because the corporation collects 100% of the food sales from these locations, not just a small percentage. But revenue is not profit. Running these company-owned stores comes with all the high costs and risks of the restaurant business: the cost of food, equipment, staff salaries, benefits, and local property taxes. As a result, the profit margin on this massive revenue stream is razor thin, estimated to be between 10 and 15%. Now, consider the other 93% of the stores, the ones operated by franchisees. These locations generate the other half of the corporation's total revenue, approximately 53%. But here, the corporation has almost zero operational costs. The franchisee pays for the food, the franchisee pays for the labor, the franchisee pays for the maintenance. The revenue that flows to the corporation from this segment, the combined royalty and rent checks, is almost pure profit. The profit margin on the franchise business is not 10%. It is a staggering, almost unbelievable 80 to 86. This staggering difference in profitability is precisely why McDonald's has, for the last decade, aggressively pursued a refranchising strategy. This is a deliberate, high-level corporate initiative to actively get out of the capital-intensive business of running restaurants and to lean even harder into the capital-light business of being a landlord. Wall Street loves this strategy. Why? Because a capital-intensive business requires the company to spend enormous amounts of its own money on building maintenance, employee wages, and fluctuating commodity prices like beef and potatoes. It's a low margin, high risk headache. A capital light model, by contrast, simply involves sitting back and collecting high margin rent and royalty checks. By selling its corporate owned stores to new or existing franchisees, McDonald's converts a low margin, high risk asset into a high margin, zero risk, long term income stream. It takes a one time cash payment for the store and in return secures another 20-year lease. This is the engine that prints money. But let's not gloss over that third pillar, the supply chain, because it's far more profound than just selling napkins. This control creates a moat, an anti competitive barrier around the entire system. This isn't just about McDonald's making a small markup on burger meat. This is about total systemic control. The franchisee must buy the specific proprietary cooking vats, the exact point of sale cash register systems, the mandated digital menu boards, and the specific software that runs it all. McDonald's controls the specifications, the suppliers, and often the distribution. This ensures uniformity for the brand, but more importantly, it locks the franchisee into a closed ecosystem. They cannot shop around for a cheaper grill or a better software. This control extends directly into the digital age. All that mandated technology, the cash registers, the mobile app, the in-store kiosks, is constantly sending a river of granular data back to corporate headquarters. McDonald's knows in real time exactly what is selling, where it's selling, and at what time of day. This data is invaluable. It fuels their marketing machine, informs menu changes, and most critically, feeds directly back into Pillar 2, the real estate. How does McDonald's know exactly where to build its next store? Because it has the sales data from tens of thousands of locations telling it exactly where its customers are. This is the true brilliance of the integration. The supply chain, Pillar 3, and its data gathering de-risk the franchisee's operation, Pillar 1, which in turn makes them the perfect, reliable, data-proven tenant to pay the rent for the real estate, Pillar 2. This river of high-margin cash is primarily driven by rent. In a recent analysis, rent accounted for 64% of all franchise-based revenues. This is the heart of the machine, a stable, predictable, high-margin income stream that is contractually guaranteed for 20 years at a time, backed by a hard asset, the land, that is simultaneously appreciating in value. Furthermore, this real estate model provides a powerful tax advantage. As a commercial property owner, the corporation can legally depreciate the value of its buildings on its taxes each year. This depreciation is used as a massive non-cash expense to shelter billions of dollars in income from taxation. The beautiful irony is that while the building is losing value on the company's tax forms, the land underneath it, the real asset, is almost invariably appreciating in value over the long term. The company gets a tax break for an asset that is in reality making it richer. The third pillar, the supply chain monopoly, is the hidden guarantee. It ensures the profitability of the entire system by forcing its tens of thousands of franchisees to buy from a controlled list of suppliers. McDonald's creates one of the largest captive wholesale markets in the world. Think of the sheer volume. Every single napkin, every single straw, every single frozen patty, every single paper wrapper, all purchased by 37,000 plus stores day after day. McDonald's is not a retailer. It is a wholesaler on a global scale. This pillar insulates the corporation from even more risk. The franchisee bears all the risk of selling the food to a fickle public. McDonald's profits simply by supplying the components, a sale that is guaranteed the moment the franchisee opens their doors. What's the big takeaway from all this? It's that the complete model is nothing short of a masterwork of financial engineering, creating a truly resilient financial juggernaut. The complete model is a masterwork of financial engineering, a system designed for one primary purpose: to outsource all conceivable risks while consolidating and maximizing all possible profits. The franchisee, the person the public thinks of as the owner, takes on all the operational risks: the rising cost of labor, the fluctuating price of beef, the risk of food waste, the pressure of local competition, and the simple risk of a bad sales month. Even in the face of a true catastrophe, like the 2020 pandemic that shut down indoor dining rooms worldwide, the model held firm. While franchisees saw their sales plummet, they were still contractually obligated to pay their minimum rent to the corporation. This is the ultimate protection. It ensures a stable, predictable cash flow for McDonald's, whether the economy is booming or busting. It is this unshakable financial stability that has allowed McDonald's to become a dividend aristocrat, a rare title for a company that has successfully increased its dividend payment to shareholders for nearly 50 consecutive years. Its valuation is not built on the ephemeral whims of consumer taste in fast food. It is built on a foundation of billions of dollars in tangible, hard assets, some of the most valuable parcels of commercial real estate on the planet. The final proof of this strategy's supremacy came in 2015. A group of activist investors, recognizing the immense value locked away in the company's property portfolio, launched a campaign demanding that McDonald's spin off its real estate holdings into a separate company known as a real estate investment trust, REIT. On paper, the move made perfect financial sense, as it would unlock the full massive value of the property and deliver a huge windfall to shareholders. The McDonald's board of directors and its management team categorically refused. They understood what the short-term investors did not. The company's genius is not in any one of its pillars, but in their perfect, indivisible synergy. The real estate, pillar 2, is so valuable precisely because the brand, pillar 1, provides a constant, unending stream of perfect, high-paying tenants, the franchisees. These tenants, in turn, are not only paying premium rent, but are also locked in as a captive market for the company's wholesale supply chain, pillar 3. One part cannot exist without the others. The real estate provides the profit, the food provides the tenants, and the supplies provide the guaranteed monopoly. When you next drive past the Golden Arches, you will know the truth. You are not looking at a hamburger stand. You are looking at a monument to one of the most brilliant and resilient financial models ever created. You are looking at a branch office of a global real estate firm that happens to sell burgers, and an asset holding company that has perfected the art of building a global empire, one 20-year lease at a time.